Okay, next question is question 14. And this one's actually going to be kind of similar to the previous question, the 13. So we're actually going to use 13 a little bit to, um, we're going to modify it a little bit to do this one. So instead of this one finding the longest word like we did in 13, it's just counting the number of words we run into. All right, so let's call this count words. So we'll say int count words. This will take in a string sentence. Get rid of the old prototype. And we'll just copy this guy right here. All right, so now it's called count words. We're no longer interested in the longest word or whatever. So we're going to say number of words, and we'll start this guy off at 0. We still want to have this logic of building up the current word we're on. That way we don't count the same word more than once. All right, so we're going to go through every character in our sentence just like before, right? If we run into a space and the cur word is equal and cur word's length is nothing, that means we are in between words in multiple spaces or something like that. So we'll just continue on to the next pass through the loop. Otherwise, if we're looking at a space, we no longer care if the cur word is longer than the previous longest word. We're not interested in that. We're not looking for the longest word anymore. We're just looking for a number of words. So before we reset cur word here, we'll go ahead and say number of words plus plus. We have found a word. All right, then we'll prepare to start building up the next word. Otherwise, just be building up the word. In the end, we'll return number of words. All right, so basically the same logic as the previous question, except instead of trying to find the longest, we're just counting how many words we bumped into. But the actual structure of how we're detecting that is basically the same. All right, so now we have, in this example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't I have another word out there? I can't see it. So we have 5. Why can't I close my ad? Whatever. There should be 5 words in this one. So if I go ahead and print this out, oh, it's no longer called return longest. Now it's called count words. So I have a different name for my function. Oh, and this guy's not returning a string. Count words returns an int, so I need to make sure I store the result inside of an int. And there is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one's actually an interesting one. And it was actually a problem in the previous question as well. I did not handle that very last word. All right, so before I return number of words here, I need to ask one more question. If cur word dot length is greater than 0, because presumably we were building up one final word, and that final word was stuck inside of cur word. So if cur word's length actually has characters in it, I need to increase number of words by 1. Okay. Now, what's interesting here is this would be a problem in our previous question, because I would have to ask something very similar in here. And I would say if cur word dot length is greater than 0 and cur word dot length was actually, you probably could just say if cur word dot length is greater than whatever I called it, cur longest word dot length, then we would have a final, we would replace the winner on that final pass. All right, so same logic here, but just like the previous one, we didn't actually account for that very last word. I'll go back and update the code for that one just so the code is accurate. Okay, and we'll go ahead and run this one last time. We see we got our 5 now. It handles that last word. All right, I'll see you in the next one.